All right, so this U-joint, not too bad, but it's a little loose. This U-joint has left the chat. So we are going to be replacing some U-joints today. And we're going to start with the easy one first, because the easy one's going to be the hardest. That's usually how it works. So our clips are here. You just squeeze them together, pull them out. If they've been in there a while, sometimes you have to tap them with a screwdriver both ways. Don't worry about messing them up because you get new ones. Other types will have a clip that goes on the inside of each one. Ours is outside all the way around, including the back. So we can use a ball joint press, U-joint press. We can use our actual press to do it. Sometimes I'll just take a vice grip. Get down in there a little bit. Pull it out, just like that. Loosen up our clamp for the time being. Just take your punch, hit that one. You gotta be careful because they will come flying out. All right, same thing here. This is the way I like to do it. It doesn't always work. You kind of grab this. If you notice, it starts popping up. One thing we forgot to do, we forgot to mark it. Doesn't always matter, but sometimes it does. So. Just like that. So what we're trying not to do is just beat that until it's like misshapen. We're just trying to smack it. The vibration will actually pick it up. You can go, we got one, and then we can tap that out if we need to. Alright, so for some reason I lost my audio, probably because my new microphone I got has a button, if you push it once it mutes. But anyway, just showing you on this one how we'd use a ball joint press or U-joint press to actually get this thing out versus the way I was doing it. Just to show you guys, there's multiple ways to do it. There's no right way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. You just do it. This was about $100. I had it probably 10, 11 years ago, and I still use it as much as I can. All right, so once we get that out, we can go ahead, take a punch, and knock the remaining cap out of there. I just gotta be careful when you hit it because sometimes you hit your finger, so I just used a pair of vice grips to hold it. That way I didn't worry about smashing my finger or the punch go flying across the room. All right, so you're gonna see me wrap this yoke in this dirty shop towel. That's just to prevent the vise from putting any marks on the yoke because we got a seal there. So any little gouge on that's gonna cause it to leak oil. And then we're gonna do the same thing we just did. Knock the bottom cap out with a punch. We're just gonna be careful here because we still don't want to gouge the end of that yoke. All right, so you're just gonna take and get all the oil and grease and dirt out of here. So when we go put this new U-joint cap, we don't get a whole bunch of dirt and stuff inside the brand new needle bearings. So I'm gonna clean up here on the yoke too. And we're gonna make sure that our new snap rings fit in the groove nice and easy. Sometimes you get a bunch of rust and a bunch of dirt buildup, and these don't want to pop in all the way. And then after you get your cap in there, you can't get the snap ring, and then it makes it harder to do it. So this way we can prep ahead of time, make sure everything's nice and clean. All right, here I'm just gonna start tapping this top cap in just to get it started. Enough we can get this drive shaft rolled over, and then we'll take the U-joint, put it through the top hole, push it down into the bottom cap, and then we'll start taking our top cap, tapping that one in, and then start pushing them together all in one time. So I just grabbed a grade 3 bolt out of my stock. This is what I'm going to use as a punch because it's a lot softer than the caps of this. And then that's what I'm going to use to just drive it the rest of the way, enough that we can get our snap ring in. And then once I get the snap ring in there, we'll end up turning this over, and we'll do the same with the other side. The snap ring will keep the original one in first, and then we can move on. All right, once we got that finished up, we can move on to the yoke side. So we're just gonna put the yoke on there first, get our cap lined up here, get that started, make sure it's going in there straight, and then we'll end up turning it over and just continuing on. So once we flip it over here, then we can just finish putting this in a little bit at a time. We'll make sure we're not going to hit the bottom roller bearings, because if it's not lined up in the hole, what's going to happen is it's going to break those needle bearings, which will snap. They're hardened. And then we just keep turning it a little at a time. And then we're going to grab our cheap bolt here, just tap it down, put in our snap ring, turn it over, hit it with the bolt again, and then put in the final snap ring. Then what I like to do, no matter what, when I do these, I usually just take a little punch and I kind of just hit the snap rings, make sure that they are fully seated, because with it moving back and forth, sometimes they pop out just a little bit. So you really want to make sure that they're fully engaged, because I did have a vehicle one time in my life that the cap did fly out because that snap ring broke, and it wasn't very fun. All right, so just speeding the process up here a little bit as much as I can. It's the same process that we just did on the front, except this one has a 4-bolt flange instead of that slip yoke like you see. This one was super bad. It almost fell out, but thankfully we caught it in time. See, again, we're going to use this ball joint Ujoint press just to speed things up. This thing was really, really rusted, and I knew it wasn't going to come out very easy, so I just said, well, we might as well just go ahead and use it and speed up the process a little bit. So after we got that off, I went ahead, got some sandpaper, cleaned up the inside holes really good, because they were super rusty, and if you don't clean them up, the caps don't want to go in there very smooth. And when I test fit one of the snap rings, I had one that wouldn't go in. This is a perfect example why you test fit it first. I just used a small pick, got it cleaned out really nice, went ahead, got the yoke done too, or the 4-bolt flange while I had it as well. Here I was trying to explain that the grease fitting is on one side. Personally, I don't know if it needs to be in the front or the back. I've never seen a difference. It doesn't interfere, it doesn't hit. We don't have extreme angles on our drive shaft, so I'm not too worried about it. So I did end up putting the grease fitting towards the rear end on the back, and then on the front of the drive shaft I put it towards the front. So I'm putting this in. I want you guys to take notice of that little square tab you can see by my left hand there. That is actually the weight that's welded onto the drive shaft, and it's bent out. I did not attempt to bend that at all, because that is a weight for balancing your drive shaft. So if you do lose that, it can cause excess vibrations, etc. So just be careful around that. Last thing, now that all the caps are on, before you put it out in the truck, because sometimes these grease fittings can be hard to get to, I'm just going to go ahead and grease it up, make sure I get some grease outside the caps. These are pre-lubed with grease, but just enough to hold the needle bearings, and it's probably not going to be greased for a while, so we went ahead, just did the back, and then got the grease front as well.